We teach 3 methods of subtraction in Year 5, all linked to the compact column method. The first extends Year 4's learning, although with larger numbers in Year 5. Let's take a look at our learning objective. To be able to subtract mixed digit numbers using the compact method. As we are doing a subtraction, we know our answer will be smaller than the numbers that we started with. Our number sentences: 52,456 subtract 7,284. We have our steps to learning to the side to help us solve this calculation. So let's look at our first step. It asks us to write our numbers in the columns. As you can see, I've already written each digit in its correct column, 1 digit per square. My next step asks me to add a placeholder. As one of my numbers is a 5-digit number and the other number is a 4-digit number, there are no 10,000s in the second number. So we can, if it helps, add a placeholder here to ensure our digits are in the correct columns. My next step asks me to draw my answer lines, which, as you can see, I have done with a ruler. This is ensuring that my work is presented neatly. My next step says to always subtract from the right. We are aware of this from our prior learning. So I'm going to start on the right. 6 subtract 4. We can do this as 4 is smaller than 6. So 6 subtract 4 is 2. I'll put that there. So I've started on the right. And I'm going to repeat this step. I'm going to go into my tens column. 5 subtract 8. We can't do this, so we know we need to exchange from the column to the left, from our hundreds column. So in this case, I will cross out the 400 and leave 300. I'm taking 100 over to the tens column, and this gives me 15 subtract 8, which I know is 7. So I'm going to put 7 there. So I can tick this as I know I've done an exchange. I'm now going to my hundreds column. 3 subtract 2 I can do, so that would leave me with a 1. I'll go to my thousands column. 2,000 subtract 7,000 I cannot do. So again, I need to exchange from the column to my left, from my 10,000s. So I start with 50,000. I'm going to cross out my 5 and I'm going to leave a 4, which will leave me with 40,000 in that column. I'm carrying over that 10,000 into my thousands column to give me 12 subtract 7. That leaves me with 5 in my thousands column. I go into my 10,000s column, and remember we've got our placeholder here, so 4 subtract 0 would equal 4. So if we then look at our steps to learning, it asks us to check our answers. So let's go through again and check our answers. Did we write our numbers in the right columns? Yes, we did. We know we did that one. So we must have an extra tick. Did I put my placeholder in? Yes, so I'm going to give myself an extra tick. Did I draw my answer lines? Yes. Did I start on the right? Yes, I did. So let's work our way through again. 6 subtract 4 is 2. 5 subtract 8. I knew I couldn't do it, so I had to exchange from the hundreds column, which gave me 15 subtract 8, which equaled 7. In my hundreds column I now have 3 subtract 2, which equals 1. In my thousands column I had 2 subtract 7. I knew I couldn't do this, so I exchanged from my 10,000s column to give me 12 subtract 7, which equals 5. My 10,000s column, 4 subtract 0 equals 4. So when I go back to my number sentence, I have 52,456 subtract 7,284, and that will equal 45,172. In Year 5, we also look at using this method to subtract decimals. This will be modelled in the Year 6 video.
Like with addition, we teach 2 methods for subtraction in Year 6. The first extends Year 5's learning with increasingly larger numbers. This can be seen in our calculation policy. This video will model the final method from our calculation policy. Let's take a look at our learning objective. To be able to subtract decimals with mixed amount of digits. By now we should be secure with the compact method. Our methods today will focus on decimals. Remember, when subtracting, our answer will always be less than the number we started with. Let's take a look at our number sentence. 125.48 subtract 72.357. It's worth noting here that we've got different amounts of digits, like it states in the learning objective. Therefore, let's take a look at our steps to learning to help us through this one. Okay, so write numbers in columns. Have I written my numbers in the correct column? Yes. Okay. Line up the decimal point. This is especially important because if we don't line it up, our answer will be wrong. Thinking again to the fact that there are different amounts of digits, if the decimal points were not lined up, the columns would also be incorrect. Draw answer lines. As you can see, like we've done in previous methods, the answer lines are always drawn with a ruler. We're going to begin and subtract from the right. We always subtract from the right. Here we've got nothing, so we need to add a placeholder. As you know from previous methods, 7 from 0 you cannot do. So therefore we're going to have to go to our next steps to learning, which is to exchange. We're going to cross out the 8 in the hundredths column and we're going to replace it with 7 hundredths. We're then going to give the 1 to this 0. 7 from 10 is 3. Moving back to the hundredths column, 5 from 7, so 5 hundredths from 7 hundredths is 2 hundredths. I'm going to pop my answer in the box like that. Remember to always line our digits up. We're going to carry on. 3 from 4, 3 tenths from 4 tenths is 1 tenth. 2 from 5, we're now in the ones column. 2 from 5 is 3. 7 from 2, again, you can't do it as the larger number is underneath, so we're going to have to exchange again. I'm going to cross out the 110, and that will become 0 tens, so the 2 will have the 110. So 12 subtract 7, remember 12 subtract 7 is the same way as saying 7 from 12, and that equals 5. Going to the tens column, 0, so that is still 0. You can pop the 0 there, but it won't affect your answer. Okay, make sure decimal point is in the answer. We haven't done that, so let's do that now. Remember, how do we know where we're going to pop it? Because the decimal point will always stay in line. Let's go back now and check. Write numbers in columns. Have we done so? Yes, we have. Line up the decimal point? Yes, we have. Always subtract from the right. Did we do that? And did we have to exchange? Yes, we did. 7 from 0, we couldn't do it, so we exchanged. 7 from 10 is 3. 7 subtract 5, or as we also can say, 5 from 7 is 2. 3 from 4, or 4 subtract 3 is 1. Decimal points are lined up. 5 subtract 2 is 3. 7 from 2, we couldn't do it, so we exchanged. 12 take away 7 is 5. So the answer to 125.48 subtract 72.357 is 53.123. Remember, when we're adding or we're subtracting decimals, this can be used in real-life problems such as money. So today we've learned to be able to subtract decimals with mixed amount of digits.